Superman could kill Mr. Bean very easily.
Now, other than the fact that
It was
this was
over a year later, and that he could not clearly remember. All he was able to do was attest to the general idea of the alleged conversation.
Mr. Young, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I know you're planning on appealing.
Yes.
This is not your appeal. Everything that you're saying now is your basis for your appeal, but the appellate court is here.
Yes, Your Honor, I need to get this on the record.
Oh, you're going to make a record in the appellate court. You don't need to say all of this today, because all of this is going to be on record. You send it to the appellate court. You get to say everything you want to say to the appellate court. You don't have to say all this on the record now for the appellate court to hear your argument. I just want to make sure you understand that.
I do, Your Honor, thank you.
This is, we're addressing the sentence.
I understand. Also, a lot of this is just things that... I'm sorry.
We're addressing your sentencing today. You're allowed to speak to the court with regard to your sentencing. Everything that you want to put in an appeal brief for the appellate court, this is not a proper form for today.
Okay, I
You're free
understand.
to say what you want to say.
Thank you, Your Honor. And it's not only for the purpose of the appellate brief that I'm saying these things today. I want people to know that while I'm a 21-year-old man who has never had any legal experience in his life aside from what I've had in the past few months that have led up to this, the past year that has led to this trial, I clearly recognize these points that I brought to Michael's attention that were not addressed.
Full creative potential.
I'm sorry. He attributed the fact that he couldn't recite a single complete sentence and identify the speaker to the fact that it was over a year later and he could not clearly remember. All he could do was attest to the general idea of the alleged conversation. But at preliminary examination, every time he was confronted on who the speaker was, he either identified Tucker Cipriano or claimed not to remember, and that was only a few weeks after the incident had taken place. I brought this point to my attorney's attention and I elected to raise the issue at trial. Ian Zinderman's testimony was key in the prosecution's case against him. Therefore, impeaching his credibility as a witness and bringing to light the staggering number of changes, contradictions, and inconsistencies that he presented was paramount in my defense. I had repeatedly requested Michael McCarthy on countless occasions that every single change, every single contradiction, and every single inconsistency, from the beginning of this incident until now, involving Ian Zinderman be presented before the jury, and despite the repeated assurances made to me at the time of my requests, that was not done. I requested that an exhibit be prepared for the jury depicting Ian Zinderman's previous statements and testimony. That way, when my attorney confronted him, the jury would be able to see for themselves the extent of Mr. Zinderman's lies and deceit. Despite the assurances made to me at the time of my request, my attorney neglected to prepare any evidence to be presented in my defense. I requested that Ian Zinderman's criminal record and history be prepared and used for impeachment purposes. Despite my request, my attorney neglected to raise this issue at trial. Furthermore, I failed to understand why the prosecution was allowed to use this man.
Is anybody home?
Inconsistent and contradictory testimony, claiming that it represented substantial evidence of my guilt. I brought that to my attorney's attention, and he neglected to address the issue. Now to discuss Detective Richard Webby and his testimony. The other witnesses that testified, Detective Richard Webby was not sequestered from the courtroom during the course of the trial. In fact, he was present in every court proceeding involving this case. This allowed him to cater his testimony to the needs of the prosecution. I brought this to my attorney's attention, and he failed to raise the issue at trial. In regard to his actual testimony, I repeatedly instructed my attorney to drive home the fact that no evidence exists, aside from word of mouth, that I ever made the statements that were used against me at this trial. No concrete evidence exists to lend any credence to what Detective Webby claims that I said. This fact allowed Detective Webby to cater his testimony to the needs of the prosecution. Some of his testimony was paraphrased and editorialized from his written reports, and some of his testimony was made from an opinionated and subjective standpoint rather than being based on objective facts. I brought this to my attorney's attention, and he neglected to address the issue at trial. Detective Richard Webby previously testified at a motion hearing that he and I conversed over a 3-hour period with only 2 short breaks in between. He testified that these breaks were just long enough for him to gather new information and return. That's a long time to be engaged in conversation, yet his written report of my alleged statements contains surprisingly few excerpts of actual conversation that took place. Therefore, I submit that my statements are not used against him. what was used against me was an editorialized paraphrase, out of context, and false version of me, born out of the mind of Detective Richard Webby, with nothing but his own words to lend any credit to that opinion. I brought this point to my attorney's attention, and he neglected to raise the issue at trial. Detective Richard Webby also testified to my alleged conduct and comments made during the taking of my DNA buccal swab. While his testimony was truthful, it cannot be proven. The timeline he provided, and greatly stressed in his testimony, was grossly incorrect. This could have easily been proven by comparing the time logs of when the swab was taken in relation to when the court proceeding had concluded that day. I brought this point to my attorney's attention, and he failed to address the issue at trial. Furthermore, if Detective Richard Webby's testimony regarding that was grossly incorrect and exaggerated, then it can reasonably be inferred that other supposed facts he testified to could have also been grossly incorrect and exaggerated. I brought that point to my attorney's attention, and he neglected to address the issue at trial. I believe that it's reasonable to infer that Detective Webby's motivations in doing this were political by nature, considering that during his close involvement in this high-profile and highly publicized case, he was promoted to sergeant. I brought this to my attorney's attention, and he failed to address it in his arguments. Now on to the testimony of Dr. Jillian Davis, who testified to me in the ER. She previously testified at a motion hearing on September 26, 2012, when she begrudgingly admitted on cross-examination that there were clear signs of my injury, such as swelling and redness in the area. Yet here at trial, she testified that there was no swelling, no redness, and that I seemed to be comfortable, in a clear and obvious contradiction to her previous testimony that was made on the case. I brought this point to my attorney's attention, and he neglected to raise the issue at trial. She also testified at the motion hearing in reference to injuries that, and I quote, obviously something had to hit him to do that. She went on to further testify that my injuries were consistent with having been hit with some object. Yet at trial, she again testified inconsistently, stating that my injuries could have been sustained by yawn. I brought these points to my attorney's attention, and he failed to confront her on these clear and obvious contradictions. Her testimony was blatantly contradictory, and clearly her testimony was biased against me, and either influenced by the prosecutor or by her own prejudice. Even multiple arresting officers testified that I was clearly injured. It is why I was admitted to the trauma center of Botsford Hospital and administered the drug morphine for severe pain along with other medications through an IV. I refuse to believe that a reputable establishment such as Botsford Hospital would admit someone to their trauma center and give them an injection of a drug as serious as morphine if the individual showed no clear signs of a serious injury. There are many issues beyond what I have already made mention of that I intend to raise on the floor. I merely hope that the appellate courts will be willing to give fair consideration to the issues that I present before them, regardless of me not specifically citing them here today. I don't believe that I was treated fairly or impartially during the course of this trial or the proceedings that led to it. Everything down to the prosecution's closing arguments and the overtly suggestive and inflammatory nature of the visual presentation they presented denied me any hope of a fair trial and engineered what I consider to be a strong miscarriage of justice. I had great potential and a multitude of opportunities at my fingertips for establishing a constructive and successful future for myself. I completed my high school education holding a 3.8 grade point average or higher my senior year, and after 4 successful years enlisted as a JROTC cadet, I earned the position of B Company Commander by my senior year, taking with it a deep sense of accomplishment, satisfaction, and respect for my peers. I have no juvenile record whatsoever, and before this incident, not a single violent conviction or any felonies on my record. Those who were closest to me and knew me on a personal level regarded me to be a kind-hearted, passionate, intelligent, and talented, polite individual who would often go out of his way to help those who asked for it. The implications that I planned out and carried out these brutal acts of violence against individuals that I have absolutely nothing against, people that I don't know and have never met, at a place I have never been to, with someone that I have been doing acquaintance of for only 3 short weeks, is nothing short of ludicrous. I did not go to sit around the hospital and do everything. I didn't go there intending to hurt anyone. At the time, I had already applied and been accepted to the Michigan Institute of Aviation Technology, and I was a mere 2 weeks away from being able to start the first of my classes. All I had left to do was complete the forms and paperwork for financial aid to pay for my enrollment. And I will admit, yes, I formed a habit experimenting with drugs such as marijuana and spice, and by...
Not in this case, but if I may, on the other case, if I approach you after this is finished. No, before you get finished.